Hey guys, what's happening? It's Jay from Sony Alpha Lab, and what I got here is the Tamron SP 70 to 200 millimeter f2.8 DI USD zoom lens for Sony. Now, the Sony version does not have VC, which is vibration compensation, because Sony has that built into the camera body, and the sensor actually does that. When it comes to weight, it actually weighs in at 51.85 ounces or 1,470 grams. The lens filter is 77 millimeter. This unit has an ultrasonic silent drive motor, which means it's super fast, quiet, and precise. It features some XLD and LD optics, which basically just means the chromatic aberrations and things like that will be very, very minimal. And it's moisture-resistant construction. It has 23 elements in 17 groups. It's f2.8, like I said, so it's fast for sports. The price tag for this bad boy is about $14.99 US. It actually comes with a tripod collar and lens hood, and it also has full-time manual focus even if you're in AF mode. So when you're in autofocus, you can actually play with the manual focus to dial it in if need be, but you don't have to switch the actual manual focus AF switch. That's kind of a cool, unique feature, I thought. In this review, I'm going to try to go over everything, real world wise. I'm actually using the Sony a7 II, as you can see here, with the Sony LAEA3 lens adapter. The focus speeds were quite good. So not exactly fast enough for action or sports, in my opinion, but slow-moving objects and things like that, this can absolutely do, this combination. If you're using a DSLR, then you're going to get the best possible performance for sure. Or if you want to use the Sony LAEA4 lens adapter, that will give you DSLR-like performance with the Sony a7 II, for example, as used here. The Sony a7R2 would obviously do a much better job, but I had several requests to see how the a7 II would perform with this particular setup. So let's see what this thing can do in the real world, and I can tell you right off the bat, the optical quality is outstanding on this lens. Unbelievable, in fact. Way sharper than I was expecting, and very similar to my Canon L lenses in that regard, if not even better. So stay tuned, guys. Let's take a look. Hey guys, what's going on? I just wanted to give you a quick hands-on with this Tamron 70 to 200 millimeter f2.8 lens. Quite nice. It's got some weight to it for sure. I'm going to spin it around here. And what I wanted to point out in particular is some of the things that I liked especially about it. This knob here for the lens collar ring is awesome. It's really easy to adjust. So a lot of times when you're using a lens of this caliber or this size, what you can do is you can actually loosen this knob up and then turn the bottom. See that? So you turn it at an angle and then you can tighten it back up, and it'll actually help you hand hold it better. You can rest your hand on that bracket when you're not using a tripod, and that's a tool that I used to utilize back in the day a lot. So I just wanted to show you that because the knob in particular is awesome, and it doesn't loosen up by mistake or anything like that. You can really clamp it down hard. And here's the AF and MF switch while I'm here. And let me just show you the lens hood. Obviously it goes on both ways. Take that off. And then it's got the pinch style. You can pinch it, pull that sucker off, and you can see the optics there. Really nice set of glass in this lens. It's unbelievably sharp, and I took a bunch of sample photos so far. Here's what it looks like looking at it from the back view, when you're holding it. And the optical zoom is very smooth. Nicely done here. You can see the focus here. You can hear it has a little bit of resistance, but it's very smooth otherwise and easy to adjust manually when using in manual mode. Alright guys, so here we are in the lab, and sorry for the weird angle, but I'm backed up against my garage door here. The minimum focus distance on this lens, and I wanted to focus on the train here. And check it out, I'm at 200 millimeter f2.8, and I'm using the Sony a7 II. Phase detection AF, for those wondering, and this is the kind of speeds you can expect. It's not bad. It's pretty quick. I mean, it's definitely not lightning fast, or anything like that. It's not DSLR speeds, but for the first generation phase detection AF on the full frame camera, this is pretty darn good considering it's a Tamron A-mount lens using the Sony LAEA3 lens adapter. Alright, so if I back it off to 70 millimeter, And you could hear the lens. It's pretty quiet, but it's not silent. Alright guys, so another cool feature with the Tamron lens is you can loosen up the tripod collar for the lens, and then you can rotate the camera. See that? To get a, vertical shot. Alright, train's coming. Let's see if she'll focus track. I have it on continuous AF, AFC. Does not look like it's doing it. Oh, there we go. That's a 200 millimeter. So it did do a decent job, but it had a hard time when it was coming at me in the beginning where it was kind of dark. Yeah, it's doing a pretty good job. So the focus, you can see, is kind of whipping back and forth. It's not going to be the best for video, that's for sure. Alright, it's doing a much better job. Well, no, it just lost it. Oop, got it back. Yeah. So that's what you can expect, guys. And this is using the Sony a7 II, again, with the Sony ALA-EA3 lens adapter. Alright guys, so here we are in the lab, and don't mind the background noise. I got the windows open. It's really nice out. It's like 70 degrees out today in New York for some reason. So you're going to hear the wind chimes and some cars going by, but the fresh air is unbelievable. So anyways, here we are in the lab. I got the Tamron 70-200, of course, and what we have here is the lab scene. So I just wanted to show you a couple of shots and what this thing can do. It's unbelievably sharp, like I said. Depth of field fall off like you'd expect. This is like the minimum focus distance is the train. So this is as close as I can get at 200 millimeter. And here's another angle. And this is stopped down to f4. Same shot. Zoom in here and show you the sharpness. Incredible. Over here on the numbers. And here's just the regular lab images here. I just wanted to show you the corner sharpness quick. I had the camera pretty far back, and you can see at f2.8 it's pretty good in the corner, and it's really good in the center. Good stuff. And you can stop it down a little bit. Sharpness does get better and improves. You can see here it just tacks up very nicely when you stop it down. There is some pretty noticeable vignette. You could see here on the edges, the corners, how they get darker. See that? f2.8's very noticeable. And then zoomed in here to 200 millimeter. A couple lab images. I'll show you the corner sharpness here. f2.8, or no, this is f8, sorry. You can read the numbers. Not too bad. You can't go by these images though so much. I'm so close, and if the camera's even slightly off, the depth of field is so shallow. But still, the results are very good. This lens, this is as close as I could get pretty much. Just zoom in. I just wanted to show the bokeh balls a little closer. And now here, if you look down, you can see how heavy the vignette is at f2.8 shooting at the sky. It's the blue sky. Stopped it down to f4. You can see it goes away mostly, but not entirely. Moving on to the real world images. There's Bonesy. It's not really a good shot, but his tongue was out. I thought it was pretty funny. I was going to start from the beginning here. I stopped over at my favorite machinery piece of hardware, this Pelton water wheel, and I like to take pictures of this. You could see the gears and the mechanism in the background, how it looks out of focus. Pretty happy with these results. This one I played with a little bit. You can see how sharp the image is. Just incredible. Amazing sharpness. That's wide open f2.8. Here's another gear. And look at this image. This image looks awesome, I think. It almost has like a 3D look to it. And you can see how sharp it is and the depth of field right here on the rust. You could see it. It's awesome. The rendering of this lens is beautiful. It really is. f2.8, you could see the background really smooths out nicely. and you can see the lines on this long piece here, very narrow. And I just stopped it down here to show you the depth of field here, how it changes. F16, now you can see pretty much all the lines are sharp, or sharper. A couple more. We have here it's just a sign with some detail. Just wanted to zoom in to show you how that looks. Actually, I'll just go to 100%, and I'll switch to the hand so you can pan around. And you can see it's very, very sharp. That's F8. This is F4. And you can see here, sharpness is still excellent. The background's getting even more buttery. And here's F2.8. Again, not quite as sharp, but still very sharp. And look at that background separation. It looks beautiful. Here's another shot of the sign. This one I added some contrast and stuff for the color photography challenge. Feel free to check it out on the forums and share some photos if you want. It's color this month pretty much, so anything with color you could share. Oh, the Blue Angels plane, I went down there and took a few images. Look at this. This is F8. Crazy sharpness. Unbelievable. And this is F2.8. Look at that background. It's just like F8, F2.8. I mean, unbelievable. And again, the sharpness at wide open is remarkable. Look at that, how it handles the highlights on the steel there. Here's another shot. And this one I just edited. I jacked up the saturation big time, contrast and all that. Thought it looks pretty cool. Here's the top. And here's another one. I just wanted to show you how, looking down the wing, how you could see the letters. You know, how they fall off there. They just look cool. And this plane has so many cool lines on it. You could just walk around this and take pictures forever. Like every angle you aim, especially when you're using, 150, 70 to 200 millimeter lens, you could just walk around this thing, zoom in, boom, got a killer shot. Keep walking, found another one. I turned around and saw this weed. Thought that was kind of cool. And it looked good with the background. I mean, look at that. That is just remarkable. F2.8, 150 millimeter. Amazing. This really is top quality optics. This is like Zeiss, the best Zeiss lens I've ever used. That's how sharp this is. Like my Canon L lenses, the 135 millimeter f2 lens, that's how sharp this lens is coming across to me. And that's like just the top quality sharpness I've used with my experience. Here's another one. Look at this. Look at this spring. A rusty spring. This plane really is awesome. Oh, I just wanted to show you the difference here. I focused on the cockpit. You can see the foreground. And then, obviously I focused on the antenna in the front there. Here's a couple of more images of like the grassy scenes. I had the exposure comp down just a little bit. Wanted to make sure I got all the highlight detail on these birds and stuff. And you could see I zoom in on the birds. Let's see if I focused on this guy here. See how sharp that is. He's got some grass in his mouth. The focus really worked well on the Sony a7 II and LAEA3 lens combo. I gotta say, I had it in the center area and it just knew what to focus on. It didn't focus on the background. It just went right to where, it just read my mind pretty much. And that's one of the things I love about the Sony cameras. They actually just seem to know what to focus on a lot of the times. This big picnic bench here offered a cool layered background. Check it out. You got a layer in the foreground, slightly out of focus. The bench is sharp. Then the background slowly falls out of focus as it changes in layering colors. And it just gives it its 3D pop, This would be a good spot for a portrait. You could have, somebody pose on the bench or whatever. Anyway, here's another layer scene so you can see the depth of field on the bottom. It's really blurry. And then I focused somewhere in the middle here. You could see the sharpness coming up. And then it falls off again, the background. Bones Jones, he's walking around on the floor here. He's making some noise, sorry. Here's a couple more shots. I just love zooming in to small weeds and things like that. And at such an aperture and focal length, it just turns the background to butter. And pretty much no matter what you take a shot of, it looks cool. You just point at anything and you're like, oh, cool shot. Here there's some kind of bud here growing. Look at that. It just focused right on that first try. Boom. And the weeds, the tall grass looks pretty cool. Oh, I just recently took a picture using the Sony 70 to 300 millimeter lens of this scene, and I liked how you could see these almond-shaped specular highlights, the bokeh balls and stuff. And this lens renders awesome as well. There's Bones Jones, a couple pictures of him, and you can see again the sharpness. It's just excellent, really good detail. I got a ton of pictures of him. Oh, this is the grill out of focus. This is what it looks like in focus, okay, on the first knob. Got a new grill. Here's what it looks like out of focus. Really cool looking, the way the bokeh renders. And here's the bird feeder. This is at 200 millimeter f2.8. So, you know, if I had a bird on there, that would be what kind of background. You know, 400 millimeter would be much better for a small bird in this particular scenario, but... And there's another one of Bones. It's laying on the ground here. Look at this. Look how sharp this is. It's unbelievable. Really, really top quality optics. There's a few more of Bones. Now check this out. I focused on his foot. It's really sharp. And then the next one, I focused on his eye. And you can see it focused on like the fur just in front of his eye. Really awesome. And another one of his foot. So that's pretty much it, guys, with the real world images. Guys, so for those of you that skipped through some of this review, just so you know, I was not using a DSLR. I was using the Sony a7 II. And, you know, this is obviously a sports-oriented lens, and the focus speeds were not really tested in this review. So if you're looking for a review, you know, for sports in particular, you know, just there's tons of them on YouTube. Just check out another review, you know, for the actual sports type testing, because I didn't really cover that, obviously, in this review. But I did want to show what it could do on a Sony camera using the various lens adapters and whatnot. All right, guys, so that's pretty much it for the Tamron 70 to 200 SP lens review. Really, the bottom line with this lens is you're absolutely getting everything you paid for. It's unbelievably sharp, top quality optics. You've heard me say it 100 times in this review. I normally don't say it that much, but I'm telling you, the images were incredible with this lens, and I would definitely get it over a factory lens, whether it be Canon, Nikon, or Sony. That's how good this is. It's worth getting for sure. I don't think I've ever said that before, and it's just the way it is. I always give you my honest opinion, and that's the case with this Tamron lens for sure. So, you know, any questions, comments, please feel free to leave them below. I encourage you to ask and, you know, fire away. If I did something wrong or whatever, let me know. And also, check out the forums. We got some photography contests going on. Lots of fun there. We got awesome users sharing their knowledge and with some various articles and stuff like that as well. Killer bird photography you can check out with other Tamron lenses by Obelix, my friend. And take care. Have a good day, and I will catch up with you guys later.